Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to create particles in ThreeJS. So let's get started. So firstly I have created one simple project using Vite. So I'm using normal HTML, CSS as well as TypeScript, but if you can use whatever framework of your choice. Then inside package.json, if you see, I have just installed 3 as a dependency as well as type/3 because I want TypeScript support as well. And inside index.html I have just taken one canvas of id canvas. Style position is fixed, top left is 0, outline is none, and I'm also adding our TypeScript file as well, inside referencing our TypeScript file inside HTML. Now this is my TypeScript file. So firstly this is how the output looks like. There are other different particles as well which you can create. So this is how let's see first how to create these particles. So these are all the imports, so you can have this imports, and here I have created one orbit controls. So firstly I am getting hold of our canvas, then I am creating one scene. Okay, then I have created one sphere geometry, that's why the particles are in sphere form. And here I have created one points material. So this is the important part for particles. We require the points material. Here you can define the size, whatever you feel like. The size attenuation we use mostly because the particle should remain the same size even if the camera is zoomed in or zoomed out. So like they should not be too big or too small, that's why. Then here we create points by using the points mesh, by passing the geometry as well as the material, adding this particles mesh to our scene. Then I have created our sizes of inner height as well as inner width, so it takes the entire width and height of the screen. Then I have created one perspective camera as well, adding it to our scene. Created orbit controls, this is for just the zoom in zoom out which you just saw. Here I have created one WebGL renderer, set the size for it, and on resize I am just updating the camera as well as the renderer in case the user resizes the screen. On double click we are just entering or exiting full screen mode, and here this is like basically to update the render whenever our orbit controls update. Now suppose if you want to create your own particle, so for that I have code as well. So I'll quickly copy paste it. I'll remove this, save it, and here you can see this is how the particles look like. Now here, okay, I'm not sure if this is, so this is how it looks like. So let's go to the code. So these are all the imports firstly, so you can just copy paste all the imports. This is same, this is same. Here I am using a texture loader. Okay, so if you see inside textures, particles, here this is the particle which I'm using. There are other as well, you can just find these textures on Google, use whatever textures make sense to you. And here I have created one buffer geometry and the particle counts are 5000. Then I have created a float 32 array. Okay, I'm looping over all the count and adding positions to our float 32 array. And given that we are doing this by ourselves, we have to set the attribute of position as well. Okay, then if you see I have created this points material, size is 0.1, size attenuation is 2. If you want you can add this color as well, but I don't think this will take an effect. Okay, this does take an effect. Okay, okay, then here alpha map is particle texture. So if you want you can use different type of textures as well. Suppose instead of alpha map you can use map as well. But yeah, this texture makes more sense on alpha map, and given that we are using alpha map we have to set the transparent to true as well. Now here comes the interesting part. There is something called alpha test. If you are using alpha test, don't use these 3. Okay, just comment it out. And I really didn't understand what is alpha test, but this is what the definition feels like. Basically what happens is that if you have this things, particles, sometimes if you zoom in for a particular particle, like suppose this one, it sometimes hide the particles which are behind it, like WebGL, there is something WebGL issue, something like that. So you can either use this solution, alpha test. If that does not work, you can use depth test as false, but then make sure alpha test is commented out or remove it, and these two are also removed. Okay, and the last thing is the depth right. If you are using this, then you will have to comment this two out. Okay, and blending as additive blending. Then here we are creating our points like mesh kind of sort. adding our particles. Rest everything is same. Like here we are creating controls, renderer, this is resize, this is double click, and this is the tick part. Okay, and the last one is changing each, like the particle, the color of each particle, and as well as applying some animations. Now here, like as I shown you, like here I was just changing the color of all the particles. Like if you see, all particles are red, but what if I want to change the color of each and every particle? So here I have the code for that as well, and I'll just copy paste it, and let me just remove this. And if I just show you this, so here as you can see, this is how the particles look like each one is different color. Of course there might be some particles which have same color, but most of them are different. And here I am applying some kind of animation to it. Okay, just an heads up, like the way in which I will show you the animation part, typically you should not do this animation for particles. Like if there are large number of particles, most probably people will use shaders for this, but yeah, if you have few particles like 100-200 particles, then using this particular method should be fine according to me. So what I have done is, so these are all the imports for it, you can just copy paste it. Here we are taking our canvas, creating our scene, getting our texture, so loading our texture, creating buffer geometry, this is a particle count, then this is the float 32 array. But here you can see I have also created one more array, float 32 array for colors, and while looping looping over all the particles count, we are assigning the position but also assigning the colors. Then given that we are creating the particles by our own self, we are setting the position over here, and we are also setting the color, because we are now setting color for each and every particle as well. Then if you see, I have set the points material. Using this color won't make sense, this is fine. Here you can see that for colors to take effect, you have to add this vertex color :true as well, so don't forget this. Here I have created our points, kind of like a mesh, added it to our scene. We created our camera, created our scene, added camera to scene, created renderer. This is for resize, this is for double click, this is for the clock. And if you see inside the tick function, basically I'm looping through all the particle counts, then I'm just adding like multiplying 3 to whatever is the count, then I'm getting hold of this positions array of whatever is the number, and then we are just doing particles dot attributes dot position dot array I3 plus 1, and here we are applying the sine function of math, so that it creates kind of like a wave like effect. But again, try to avoid this. For a small number of particle it's fine. And there is one more thing, you also need to do this particles geometry dot attributes dot position needs update equal to true, because we have created the particles from our own self, that's why. So yeah, that's all about particles. Thank you for watching. Bye.